Destiny's Way is Walter John Williams' only Star Wars novel. Surprisingly, throughout the vast amount of Star Wars novels there's been, I thought for sure there'd be one or two more books he's written, but I had discovered that it turns out that's not the case. It was his only novel. Now, this takes place after Traitor, and it starts off en route to the recruit helping the Imperial Remnant in the battle against the Yuuzhan Vong. Leia Solo dissenses through the Force that Jason might still be alive, which is obviously revealed in Traitor, the last novel. And I gotta mention, I did not scream out the word traitor from Force Awakens, which could have been a ripe opportunity, but someone in the comments made a joke saying this is the Stormtrooper's favorite novel. Anyways, uh, so she senses through the force that Jason is still alive, and it's a small amount of hope shared by the two solo by Han and Leia, which. Considering all they've been through, especially losing Anakin, Jaina Solo nearly went to the dark side, and Jason was presumed dead. They needed this hope, and while this is all happening, it's quickly interrupted by the Yuuzhan Vong Coral skipper ambush. Han Solo is able to outfly the aliens, aided by Jag Val, arriving with E-Wing starfighters and Chiss clawcraft reinforcements. Elsewhere, over Orban Sky, Jaina Solo leads an assault against the Yuuzhan Vong world ship, with her forces bolstered by Hapen warships commanded by Queen Mother Tenel Kai. Jaina's efforts to destroy the massive enemy vessel. Jaina 2 efforts destroyed the enemy vessel. However, Jaina also senses flickers of Jason's presence in the Force, which gives her an amount of hope. The New Republic has transplanted its command, like the book later reveals that after the fall of Coruscant and the operation of Borealis, the New Republic moved its assets and its senate to the planet Mon Calamari. Poen, who replaced the late Boris as chief of state of the New Republic, was vetoed out as the ruler, and the Senate began to vote for a chief of state, with Fran Rodin in the lead as being chief of state or chancellor, if you want to call him that. Those of the New Jedi Order are trying to help Rodin's opponent, Cal Omas, into being voted in so he could establish a new Jedi Council. Luke Skywalker feels Jason's presence and says out loud, "It's the turning point." And considering what happens later down the road in the storyline, we can understand what he meant by that. Even though originally this was supposed to be Anakin's solo story, so everyone tends to think the turning point happened in Star by Star, outside of the Star Wars universe at least. But meanwhile, Jason Solo and Vringen, I've been trying to pronounce that name, pilot Nominar's stolen coral craft from their escape from Yuuzhan Tar, aka Coruscant, are heading to Mon Calamari. Before their arrival, Vringen tells Jason about how and why she joined the Yuuzhan Vong. She reveals that 57 years earlier, she was a Jedi Knight of the Old Republic era Jedi Council. She was sent to investigate a strange alien group known as the Far Outsiders, which would later become known as the Yuuzhan Vong, and went to the mysterious planet called Skedot, Sketot, yeah, which had all kinds of life, particularly plants and vegetation. The Vong attacked Sket and resulted in a grand-scale battle. Vernon later met with the Vong that were attacking the planet. She was angered by the fact that she couldn't sense them in the Force when she met them. However, she saw how the Vong valued life in their own perverse way, as one of the Vong had an avian pet similar to Vengen. She then fooled the Vong by displaying her powers and saying it was the power of Skedot. The Vong were pleased that they found a living planet and decided to go back to their own galaxy to collaborate on a full-scale invasion of the galaxy, but instead of going back to the Jedi Council and reporting this to the new Old Republic, which really would have changed a lot of things, Finnegan decided to go with the Vong to study them in their own galaxy. However, before she left, she left a message for Skid to display to any Jedi who were sent to that planet to find her about the Far Outsiders. As for Skid, it turned out that the planet had repulsive lifts that let it travel further to the edges of the galaxy. Vern states that it is unknown if any Jedi received her message. It is revealed later on. It is revealed in the novel Rogue Planet when Anakin Skywalker received this message when he and his Jedi Knight Master Obi-Wan Kenobi went to find her. So they found the message, but ultimately did not, sadly, did not give them the hope they probably would have, or else we would be seeing the Old Republic Jedi's and the Old Republic fight to Yuuzhan Vong. Vernon says that because of her choice to go with the Vong, she pretty much single-handedly started the galactic invasion. So why are we on her side? Why is she on our side? Like, are we supposed to be rooting for her since, she kind of caused 365 trillion deaths? Because at the end of the war, that's the casualty rating. So 365 trillion are dead because of her actions, and well, yeah, she also somehow managed to hide her force abilities from them because I don't know how, but the Vong can't sense them, so well, they're fooled either way. Jason and Vern come to Mount Calamari, and Jason reunites with his friends and family in a vacation given by Admiral Terrace Kerfrey on the water planet, while Vernon is detained by New Republic intelligence to see if she is a spy for the Yuuzhan Vong, especially considering the fact that she had aided Ellen's failed plot to destroy the Jedi. All of Jason's friends and family, including Jaina, Luke, Mara Jade, Han, and Leia, all hate Vernon for torturing him. You could also say that she's also the reason Anakin Solo's dead, but I'm pretty sure they should have brought that up. Ving also reveals she avoided revealing her force potential to the Vong Yamasks by using her mastery in the force potential to hide her force abilities and even rearrange molecules for different purposes, which is how she created her healing teals that cured Mara of her comb spore disease earlier in the series. The wise old Jedi even gives Luke her opinion that the Yuuzhan actually do exist in the Force, but they are out of every Force sensitive's perception to sense them. It is also revealed that Dana Quee and her team of scientists have found a DNA pattern that all Vong formed life, even the Vong themselves for that matter, share that makes them invisible from the Force. Commander Diff Scar of the Republic used this knowledge with the chips early in the war to create a secret project called Alpha Red, which is an airborne virus that will only kill the Vong and all the life they created with their bioengineering. Meanwhile, using Tar, after Jason Solo's manipulation of the world's brain, the Vong find themselves having trouble adapting to their new environment. The Bothians have declared Ankat Kari a total state of war against the Vong, meaning the Bothans won't stop at killing the Vong until the invaders are all dead to the last individual and until the very name of the Vong species is to be wiped out from history. So, yeah, that's going to be a huge problem later down the road for them. Because, well, since they declared this and they won't stop until the Vong are destroyed, well, and considering the Vong would later return way later on in storylines to help rebuild the galaxy, well, yeah, that's going to be a problem. Nominar's agents learn that if Calamaris Amas is elected chief of state of the New Republic, he will support the new Jedi Order that will make him a bigger threat for the Vong, so Anar sends two of his agents to assassinate him. But the plot is foiled by Mara Jade Skywalker, who happened to have been investigating Vong infiltrators using the Yuuzhan Vong Hunter technology from Lando Calrissian and Talon Karrde of the Smugglers Alliance. Lando and Karrde also manages to blackmail most of the Senate to canceling their votes for Fern Roden and make them vote for Calamas by threatening into revealing their corruption to the public. Yeah, so blackmail. Yeah, this shows that this war has turned into gray now because part of you understands why they're doing it, but part of you can't help but not feel like blackmailing to get what you want. Like, could it have been done the honorable way, even though that was next to impossible, considering the Senate was so corrupted at this point. But, yeah. With Omas now chief of state, he manages to make the new military on good terms with the Senate since the military was planning on mutiny against the New Republic for all the losses that they have taken in the war. The Jedi Council is also reestablished with half of the members of Jedi and the other half good trusting members of the Senate and military, so it's established as the High Council, not the Jedi Council. At this time, Scar reveals his Alpha Red project and former Admiral Akbar, now old and dying with Winter Clichu taking care of him, returns with a plan to wipe out the Vong. Han and Leia's attempts at getting the Imperial Realm to join the New Republic fails in one meeting with Admiral Palian. Supreme Overlord or Shimura is heavily displeased with the discomforts created by the world brain that has Master Shaper Cha Gang Houl executed for his incompetence and is angered by Tristan Von Law at the heavy casualties the Vong took in the war so far. So he tells Law to have the Vong hold back on major offenses until they can repopulate properly for the warriors and have all the warriors 16 years or older reproduce. Yeah, I'm not even going to say anything. The Shame ones and workers are also beginning to have a new blasphemous faith against the Vong by believing the Jedi will be their saviors. Yeah, we're at this point now. Like, now, this is where the Vong really started to become more three-dimensional. Now there's a splitter cell growing within the Yuuzhan Vong believing the Jedi are going to be their saviors, even though the Jedi are fighting them. But there's also the Balthians who declared this ritual to take out all Yuuzhan Vong lives, so yeah, could they be their saviors? We won't know. Hence, Nomenar begins to investigate the blasphemous religion, while Shimmer states that the Shane ones should learn that the Jedi won't save them, but if they won't listen, they should be killed on contact. Onar later learns during his investigation that everything that Shimmer ever stood for was a lie and that the Vong are fighting for a false cause. Yeah. Jay manages to train the rookies that have decided to join the fight against the Vong very well, and when Akbar reveals his plan to destroy the Vong, he finds out about a hidden Imperial fortress in the deep core of the galaxy known as Tarkin Fang in the Ibaku system. On the gas giant of Ibaku's ninth moon, Ibaku 9, really, that's really creative. There is an old abandoned factory for the Empire setting up in crucial times in its war against the rebellion more than 2 decades earlier. Akbar plans to lure the Vong. They're using bait they can't resist in capturing or killing. Later, Kalamas decided that Jaina, Jason, and all the other Jedi who survived the mission to Makor, not including Ganner, who died in the previous novel Traitor, be promoted to full Jedi Knights in a public ceremony for their actions in the war. Those who died at Makor, including Anakin Solo, are remembered, and every one of the Jedi apprentices are knighted, especially Jaina, whom Luke declares as the Sword of the Jedi, the bravest Jedi of all. And the prophecy she's supposed to fulfill won't be fulfilled until Legacy of the Force, and we all know how that turned out. And would have been more explored in Sword of the Jedi trilogy, but we all know how that turned out as well when Disney decided to destroy the expanded universe with their ego. After all the Jedi are knighted, Vernon learns of Scar's Alpha Red project and sabotages it, then escapes Mount Calamari to an unknown location. Vernon's sabotaging is realized by the New Republic intelligence, and Jason is called through the Force by Vernon to Kashyyyk. Vernon asks Jason's help to find a place in the galaxy where the New Republic and the Order, by extension, can't find her. But this plan is foiled when Jason realizes that it's now the new Jedi Knight's top priority to find her and capture her. And while Jason keeps her presence a secret from everyone else, he leads Admiral Kafray's fleet into battle and tries to teach Talia Vila how to sense the Yuuzhan Vong since she was captured and experimented by them back on Yavin 4 and the Edge of Victory duology. Jaina Lobaka and Tezar Sebatin, as well as their pilot teams, are placed on Ibeco 9 as bait for the Vong. Meanwhile, Nomenar, disguising himself as a worker on Yuuzhan Tar, figures out the 8th cortex of Vong life shaping doesn't exist, and Supreme Overlord demanded for Union and a team of Shaper cast to actually create the 8th cortex. Also, the New Republic finds out that the Vong spies among them, so they trick Nomar's agents into making them think that the Vong aren't being baited to Ekbok 9. Fooled by this deceit, Onar promises Shimura if the Vong are led into a trap that will result in an epic catastrophe, no one will die. So 5 large squadrons led by Tristan Vong himself attack Ekbok 9, but during the resulting battle where Jaina's forces fight back, they are aided by the Smugglers Alliance led by Han and Leia and other New Republic divisions. While Luke Skywalker persuades Graham Bell Elvis to join the battle from Fondor, a large portion of Vong forces are destroyed in the battle, and Tristan Vong realizes that if he keeps on having Yuuzhan Vong fight the New Republic, they will all die. Meanwhile, Nomenar becomes aware of the results of the battle from Yuuzhan Tar and escapes from an impending doom he promised Shima, killing his superior High Prefect Young Scale in the process. Back at the battle, Law commands most of his remaining members of the squadrons to attack Epic 9, I'm trying my best to pronounce that planet name right, but like I'm not good with this. With the other Vong to retreat to preserve their lives for the future of the war, as the Voxen he brought with them to battle tell him about the Jedi being on the moon, the New Republic does its best to hold the Vong off the moon, but the invaders get through and hunt down Jaina, Lobaka, and Tezar, as well as the surviving pilots and their squadrons that made it out of the battle alive. Most of Tezza and Vong's retreating ships are killed by New Republic forces participating outside the battle. Jason, who leads the force meld into the Vong battles on Admiral Kefra's capital ship, the Rel Roost, realizes about Jaina's danger and goes to against Kefra's orders to fly to the moon to help Jaina and her comrades escape. Vernon fails to stop Jason from taking his X-Wing to the moon, and Tyson Vong Laws invites all the Jedi to join in on the hunt on the moon, while all non-Jedi will be killed by the Yuuzhan Vong forces if they proceed to the moon. Jason safely lands, bringing the odds of 10,000 Yuuzhan Vong versus 4 Jedi. Okay, if the Chief of State could use a proton bomb to go ahead and blow up 25,000 Yuuzhan Vong, Anakin Solo could kill close to like 30 Yuuzhan Vong by himself. I think the odds are going to be in 4 Jedi's favors, and also because they're protected by later sequels. And is hunted by the Vong forces. However, while Bail Ilbis and his forces arrive in the battle, Vernon, knowing Jason wouldn't survive in the hunt, steals an A-wing from the Val Roost and crashes it onto the Baku 9, destroying its air supply immediately and killing nearly every Yuuzhan Vong on the moon, as well as herself in the resulting explosion of the A-wing. This is after she convinced Laud that she was force sensitive, but before she died, she created a force projection of herself to Jason to warn him about the resulting loss of air supply, so he builds a force bubble around him that gives him oxygen, and after talking to the projection, he realizes Vernon is dead. Okay, while she did sacrifice her life to save everybody else, it's yeah. Considering what she's done, it's a mixed reception. Meanwhile, Jaina, Lobaka, and Tezar and several New Republic pilots survive the air loss by quickly activating their vacuum suits. Oh boy, I'm so glad that they survived. I couldn't believe it. I didn't think they could make it. I really thought they were gonna die. It's not like there are already sequels about them already, which means you don't give a damn about their tension. Okay, moving on. Tyson Vong is the only Vong survivor of the air loss, thanks to his personal guards who protected him and his gunk whatever from the thousands of suffocating warriors. They put on the Uglyph cloaker on him to save him from the cold and air loss. He falls unconscious but soon wakes up, wounding Lobaka and sticking Jaina, Lobaka, and Tezar in bullish jelly. What? Resulting in a fight between Jaina and Law. The battle ends as Jaina defeats and kills Law by impaling her lightsaber through his throat, while Tezar treats Lobaka's wounds. So, yeah, Law's dead. And he was one of the big baddies, so they just got rid of him. Later, a few days after the Battle of Ipok 9, while the New Republic reforms itself into the Galactic Federation of Free Alliances, Jaina is the last to return to the newly formed Galactic Alliance and reunites with her friends and family. Her last words in the novel are, "Being the Sword of the Jedi really stinks." Yeah, that's the last word she says in the novel. The final scene of the book has Shimra place a death mark on Noman R for the Yuuzhan Vong to hunt him down and kill him after the disaster of the battle, and the novel finally closes with Shimra and his shamed underling Onimi laughing maniacally after they both realized they had to redouble their efforts in defeating the natives of the galaxy since the battle. So that's pretty much Destiny Way in a nutshell. That's pretty much everything Destiny's Way was about. And let's go into the behind the scenes information. Destiny's Way includes an elaborate knighting ritual for Jason and Jaina, though they were knighted at the end of the Young Jedi Knights novel, Crisis of the Crystal Reef. The delineations of the Jedi ranks seem much hazier in Luke's Jedi Order than those of the past. Even after the first promotion, Jason and Jaina are still sought out masters to apprentice themselves to. And that's not really surprising to me because Revan, who was a Jedi, a full-fledged Jedi at that point, still went to multiple masters to learn more ways of the Force, including Kreia, and, well, we all know how that turned out for him. So, this doesn't actually bother me. Admiral Akbar was once slated to die in the battle, though his life was spared by to better ensure the spirit of a New Republic victory. His fate is revealed in the Unifying Force, where he dies off screen, technically, succumbing to illness and old age. The new government created by the story's end, the Galactic Federation of Free Alliances, was a subtle nod to the fan coin term GFFA, which describes the Star Wars setting of a galaxy far, far away, so that was a nice touch. Like, you certainly feel like, oh, that's just adorable. Oh, man. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Like, you have Yuuzhan Vong now divided, and now forced breeding projects are going on since they lost so much. You learn Vringen's, whatever her name is, about her deception and how she was pretty much single-handedly responsible for all of this. So yeah, if she had told anyone else, I'm pretty sure it would be a bloodbath for her at least. I'm pretty sure the best way to describe it would be Mockingjay Part 2 in the Hunger Games series, where Snow is laughing at his execution and the crowd of people storm to him and basically beat him to death or rip him apart. That is the best way to describe this. If had this been revealed to everybody else except for Jason. So yeah, it's very interesting of what could have been had things went down a different path. So those are my thoughts on New Jedi Order Destiny's Way. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. Stay tuned for more.